Hello guys, welcome to Radical Academy, and in this video we are going to solve this question from 2022 GCE Mathematics. So if you're watching me for the first time, please support me wherever you're watching from, at TikTok, YouTube, as well as Facebook. So you can just share this video, as well as follow if you are watching from Facebook and also TikTok. Of course, if you're watching from YouTube, you can also subscribe. So without wasting much of your time, this is trigonometry that came in 2022 GCE Math Paper 2. So how do you approach this question? So you have to be careful when it comes to trigonometry, because you are going to have two options. Okay, it's either you're going to use cosine rule or you're going to use the sine rule. So you have to be very careful when it comes to such a question under trigonometry. So now let us see how we can go and approach this question. Okay, so this is a triangle that we have been given, and it is saying calculate the length of YZ, which is YZ, okay, this one. So now, to find YZ, which is just that length, so you have to figure out, first of all, which of those formulas is going to work out. Is it the cosine rule or the sine rule? But when you look at this one, most likely we are going to use the sine rule. So therefore, but remember, the only part that you've been given is this part. So we need also to find the angle Z. So how do we find the angle Z? We know that this is a triangle, and the triangle always add up to 180 degrees. So we can add these two and subtract from 180. Okay, so we are going to say now once you do that, then we are saying 180 minus 140. So 80 plus this, you get 140. And then also from 180, we remove now 140. So we have, okay, so that's what we're going to have. So meaning this one is just that is now 40 degrees. Now, once you have that, the reason why we are actually finding the angle on Z, okay, on that one, is because that is going to give us the complete ratio of the angle at Z and its opposite, which is the distance. Okay. So from there now, we can now say we're going to use the sine. So we use the sine rule, okay? So from there, what you're going to have is this, okay? And now remember, what you're looking for is this YZ. So we're going to use the angle X, or rather 60 degrees, which is the opposite to that length. So we are saying that sine Z divided by its opposite, which is as y x, equals to sine x, okay, this one over its opposite, and it's going to be y z. And then now we can substitute now. Sine z is just this one 40 divided by yx, from y to x, that is just 6, okay, equals to sine x, which is 60, over yz. Now remember, the YZ is actually what I'm looking for, so it just remains unchanged. And then from there, we can now cross multiply. Okay. So now, this times that, so we're going to say YZ dot equals to 6 multiplied by sine. Okay. Now you should be able to ensure that the calculator is in a normal mode, because it becomes very difficult for you if your calculator is not in a normal mode. So make sure that you do that. So from there now, we divide both sides by sine 40, sine 40, okay? And then now, from there, what you do is this and this goes out, and then YZ is now going to be, so when you do, what you punch is 6 times sine 60 divided by sine 40, okay? Now your answer is going to be something like, okay, so this is the answer that you're going to get. So make sure that you also go through this question and ensure that you are getting the same question. So let's now move on to the second question. Okay, so the second question is about area of this triangle XYZ. Okay, so the area, and now remember, because you are looking at the triangle, now the area that you are finding is, the angle that is being specified is a letter at the middle, which is just that one, okay? So meaning angle Y, okay? Now because this one is just 8, okay, to 1, just to the nearest whole number, that is going to give us 8. So from there now, we can find now the area of that. Okay, so this is going to be area equals to half, okay, half multiplied by this side. Now because the angle is this one, so the side you're going to use are the side that are adjacent to this angle, okay. So those are the side that you're going to use, the side that are adjacent to the angle. So this is now 6 centimeters and 8 centimeters. Those are the angles, the sides that you're going to use in the formula for finding the area, given that the angle is 80. Now remember, I want you to understand one thing. If the angle used was 60, okay, if they said maybe YXZ, okay, meaning the letter at the middle is the angle that you're going to use in the formula. So if that was the case, for example, we use X, which is 60 degrees. So what's going to happen now is that we would have used the side that are adjacent to that angle. So meaning this side, but unfortunately, we don't have that side. So it becomes very difficult for us to use that one, okay? But if there was a side there, then it doesn't matter, okay? The answers are going to be the same. Now let's proceed now. So we're going to say YZ, okay, multiplied by YX times, okay, so times sine theta, okay. So now from there, we know that our theta is going to be, so that is the theta that you're going to use, and then YZ equals to 8, and YX equals to 6. Okay. Now, once you have that, just a matter of replacing that. So our area is going to be, this is going to be YZ is 80 multiplied by this. Now, once you punch everything, now remember, guys, before you use your calculator, make sure that your calculator is in normal mode. Okay, it is in the normal mode so that you don't just fail because your calculator wasn't in the right mode. So make sure that you do that. So after you do everything, our answer is going to be okay. So that's our answer for the area. Okay. So now let's go to the last one. Now the last one is talking about finding the shortest distance. Now this is also very important, and make sure that you understand it. So what is the formula for the shortest distance, and what do they mean by shortest distance? Okay, so shortest distance from X to YZ. So from X to YZ, so we actually do that. Okay. So from X to YZ along that, meaning that is the distance from X to that point. So that point. So this distance is actually H, okay, which is the height. Okay. Now, whenever you're doing the shortest distance, all you have to do is the area, okay, the area of the larger triangle. So the area of the larger triangle, which is represented by capital A, and then is equal to the area of the smaller triangle, and that is just the piece of that one, okay? So which means because this triangle has been dissected, or rather bisected, into just two equal sides, okay? So this one we know that the area of the larger triangle is this one. So we take this one, it's 223.6. So now at this point you can just ignore the units. Okay? And then it equals now the area of the right angled triangle. So what is the area of the right angled triangle? It's just 1/2 times base multiplied by the height. So 1/2 BH. Now the base is when you start moving from X going to that point along Y Z, okay, that is the base, which is just 8, okay. And then this is going to be 23. Now remember, the H is what you're looking for, so it just stays like that. Okay. And then from there, we can just simplify now because everything is now there. So this, there, okay. So we have 23. Okay. So now from there, now we can divide both sides of the equation by 4. Okay. So from there now, we have just okay. So now, which you can just say, therefore, okay. So that is our answer on the shortest distance. So that's how you can approach this question where shortest distance is concerned. So make sure that you do understand how to approach the question when it comes to shortest distance. So that's how you can approach the entire question that came in 2022 paper 2 mathematics for GCE. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to support. If you're watching from TikTok, follow me. You can share my contents to your friends as well as families that you think this content is going to be of good help. If you're watching from YouTube, make sure you also subscribe so that you don't actually miss any of my videos each time I post the video. And also remember to follow me on Facebook. Each time I also upload a new video, you'll be always you'll always be notified that we, the Radical Academy, has posted something. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.